it up on the wall.
You were talking about how to lose a game, and I hate to bring it up again, Rob, but you lost to Lee Evans yesterday when you were 5-0 up. I'm pretty sure that's the first time that's happened to him. I'm just stabbing in the dark there a little bit, but I think if it had happened to Rob Cross before, I would have heard about
180.
it. There's a beautiful 180 from Peter Wright from the other angle of the Yockey. But, yeah, that will have hurt yesterday, but this is what I like about Rob Cross. Whenever there's a disappointment, he gets on with it and he remotivates himself, and he's no more motivated than ever because of being excluded from the Premier League.
You know what, I'm quite interested. You know, I don't begrudge any of the guys left in this tournament title. I think there are stories everywhere you look, no matter who goes on and wins it. But I would be interested to see what Rob has to say, because I do wonder whether a lot of the noise about Rob Cross being devastated, gutted, whatever, is coming from his camp, his partners, people in the media. And maybe not. I think Rob would have been quite well aware that there was every chance that he would miss out on the Premier League, particularly when they cut it down to 8 players.
Because he's not in the Premier League pretty much for the first time, he's going to be fresher for these, isn't he?
Well, quite possibly. I think you can work either way, can't it? Premier League players, well, I'm playing all the time, but if you're playing and losing all the time, I mean, Rob Cross, the last 2 Premier League campaigns have been disastrous for him.
I've got another way of looking at it. But let's have a little look at what Rob Cross can do with 106 to get himself
42
on level terms with Snaky here.
Skinny 20, 54, double 16.
With a pause.
Oh, dear me.
Way to let us down, Voltage.
24.
Skinny 1, fat 3, give up.
I notice you're taking a punt on this one. 18 for double 16. I said that somewhat tentatively. Should have been a bit more forceful. We know how good Peter Wright is on double 16, but here's one thing for you. Rob Cross's most successful floor campaign through a year came in his first year when he wasn't in the Premier League. How about that? Does that open up the possibility that Rob Cross needs to be a little fresher and doing his own practice on, say, a Wednesday or a Thursday, away from a big arena, to get himself right for these? We will probably revisit that in November.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and we are going back this year to the more traditional weekends of Pro Tour action. By and large, there is a triple header, there is a Super Series later in the year, but most of the time it's Pro Tour weekends like this here in Barnsley. A Players' Championship on the Saturday and one on the Sunday. Now, going back to that setup, I think that's going to be very, very good for a number of players. And when Rob Cross, if he is thinking, right, let's go back to the drawing board, I am European champion, but let's get back to where I was 4 or 5 years ago, getting into that routine could well be exactly what he needs.
What he also needs to do is re-qualify for the European Championship, because he doesn't, as current champion, automatically get a spot in the European Championship later in the year. He's got to do well in the European events to get a chance to defend that trophy.
Well, winning the Europeans,
83.
followed by a Pro Tour, of course, a week later, means that he is the number 11 seed here. So at the moment, he's in the seeded positions for the Euro Tours. He will not take out the 164.
96.
But if this 117 goes for Peter Wright, I'm already starting to think that time is up for Rob Cross. And it'll be 17 for tops. Is time up?
97.
Not just yet.
I'm amazed he didn't hit that, because the 60 was so plumb, the single was so plumb. But that one's right in the corner.
Yep.
But it's in. You heard the kicks of the Yockey before he threw for double 4, and he's missed the 2 doubles he gets a crack at. And Peter Wright is getting multiple chances of taking legs, and you can't do that against arguably the best player in the world at the minute. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. 4-1 snakebite.
Well, we have a first semi-finalist. It is Gerwyn Price.
108.
Has the field missed the chance to beat him? because it did look like Florian Hempel had an opportunity. He was unable to take it. Gigi Mathers was 3-1 up and averaging almost 110, but ended up losing that 6-3. And Stephen Burton has offered very little resistance. A 6-1 defeat at the hands of the world #1. Damon Heta is through as well.
No surprise there. He's been sailing through his games today with very little stress. Kretschmer and Bunting 4-3 currently to the Croatian. But this one, Scotland is winning this battle.
I'm not sure Boris Kretschmer, and I know he lost in round 1 yesterday, but I'm not sure his average has dropped below about 97 for any individual game this entire weekend.
We saw him a little bit earlier. He was incredibly impressive. And when he started his campaign on this board against Jim Williams, he averaged 100.75, but it really did look better than that. And when he beat Keane Barry after that, he raised his average by 5. He's playing really well today.
44.
Well, in fact, I can tell you that so far this weekend, taking all the players and all their games into account,
180.
that Big Bad Boris Kretschmer is averaging more than 100. As Cross looks at double 10 and pins it, it is just a hold of throw. It is the very least he required. But if he can just really attack the right throw here. I know that he would have another chance to break if he couldn't get it done here, but 5-2 down against, as you say, arguably the best player in the world, you're asking too much of yourself to really think, convince yourself you're going to get matched arse in that position.
Yeah, you don't think you're going to get a chance against Peter. I've played him enough times and been in that position enough times, you just think, you know what, I'm going to try and win the next leg. And
100.
If I do get it, I'll have another crack again, but you expect Snakebite to put in a 12 darter on his own throw and force you to hit a 9. That's just what the best players in the world do.
59.
Does look very different when he hasn't got his stencil in and his colourful hair. This is
120.
arguably Peter Wright playing, but Snakebite just plays on Thursdays.
Yeah.
83.
I'm very interested to see Peter Wright in his Premier League campaign. He started it in the perfect fashion, not only winning the opening night in Cardiff, but dismantling who many people regard as his main rival in Johnny Clayton in the final. But he's not. I mean, he's had more poor Premier League campaigns than he's had good ones, Peter Wright. And that's despite being a serial title winner during that time. It's not easy.
I've got a question for you about the Premier League on Thursday, actually. But we're going to wait to see if Wright can double down on the bull. Oh, he shouldn't have moved, Pete.
92.
Now Cross is hoping for a shot at that bull after 420s.
Can he slide it over? No, he can't.
Bad
60.
news for Rob Cross now, because you don't expect Wright to be missing this. And he's had his chance to break him in 15, you see. Double 10. Oh, this is a bit messy. Messy in the sense of Lionel Messi. Back of the net, 5-2. But my question to you about Thursday, Dan, is should Liverpool stand up and cheer Michael Smith because it's his turn to be the home favourite?
I mean, maybe. I just don't walk out in his Man United top. That would be a bad idea. It would be a good idea for Rob Cross to produce a couple of perfect visits back to back. Because I'm not sure a ton is enough. And Peter Wright is closing in on a semi-final shootout with Damon Heta, the number 15 seed from Australia.
100.
That game's got potential. And I get the feeling that there's plenty of gas in the tank for Damon. He can average really high. I do believe that last year he put in a 114 That's the kind of performance that he might require against a snakebite who's going to have plenty in the tank himself if he gets rid of 221 and 6. You look at the bull here,
100.
takes the bullseye out of the equation for the next checkout. That's why he used it.
Well, one semi-final looks like it's going to be Peter Snakebite Wright versus Damon Heta. The other one will be the protein shake derby between Boris Kritschmar and Gerwin Price. And Damon Heta, while he will want to beat, looks like Peter Wright, although it's not done and dusted yet,
60.
I think he will be secretly praying that Boris Kritschmar does a number on Gerwin Price, because Damon Heta cannot beat that man.
Game shot.
That's in. So, we continue. But does Boris Kritschmar have protein shakes? I thought he was the kind of bloke from Croatia who would have a full Mangalitsa pig spit roast for lunch every day.
Yeah, I think it may be not a protein shake. It might just be an entire raw, possibly live cow
140.
for breakfast.
Just imagine if Cross can get back in this.
140.
He won't give up. In his career, he has never given up. He's been tested a lot in 5 years.
I mean, it's all positive for Rob Cross. He's been playing at a
49.
good level, a very good level, for probably about 5 months now. Maybe 6 at a push. And things have turned around for him. He's saying he's looking forward to things, he's enjoying playing darts again where he wasn't before, but then again at the time he was saying he was enjoying it, and so you can't really take
85.
interviews as gospel, but the results, the way he's playing, the action, everything seems to be moving at least in the right direction. He seems in a better place now, and he's more dangerous. He's
140.
going deeper in tournaments, he's looking more of a threat.
He also knows how to lose games on this streaming board with 112 averages. Chris Dobie last year in one of the most
140.
miraculous games I've ever seen. But Rob Cross, if he wants to stay in this, 121. Lovely. Don't get greedy. Bullseye. Double kicks the oche and hits the bullseye to keep it going. That has to be admired because he's on the verge of being pushed off the cliff, and Cross is going nowhere.
I said that if Rob Cross found himself 5-2 down to the world number 2, it'd be very difficult to convince himself, and indeed
137.
anybody else, that he's going to get a match dart from that position. Well, he has managed to find one break of throw, and a hold here means we're going the distance.
133.
I don't know about you, Dan, but I could watch these two play at this level for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's just so fluent. Such quality. And we're not seeing many darts like that just career into the small section.
It's 100.
Well, Peter Wright. Not much in the averages between these two. It's high 90 stuff. Neither man playing the best.
Now, here's the question. As we see, the averages aren't that different.
99.
18's first here on 268. That's what I believe is the right play. Well, 60's first meant he had to get a 60 with one of the first two.
123.
Wow. Great recovery.
Not bad in the end. Oh, my.
121.
Well, why was the second one not like the third one, Rob?
This is for the match. 15's. Oh, match dart at tops to finish it with a flourish.
Game shot on the match.
Rob Cross is gone. He tried so hard to fight back, but ultimately it was a haymaker from Snakebite to get rid of him. And it took that as well, because you knew for a fact that Rob Cross was going to dispose of that 49 to take us all the way. But we don't go all the way. 145, And where have we seen that to win a tournament before? Remember the 2012 Grand Prix? MVG did that, but Wright did that one. Averages 0.03 between them. 3 breaks of throw, and we now go to the semis, where Gerwin Price takes on Kruchma and Damo takes on Snakebite.